All right. So, yeah, it was paused.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah, take your condom off your microphone. Chaille had just delusions that if he put plastic bags over the microphones, they wouldn't reek of cigarette smoke when he got back. Sure.
Oh my God. That's very funny.
Yeah, maybe if you tied him down with rubber bands and some liquid cement.
Is he put off? I mean, I've been around you for almost a lot of my life, and the cigarette thing you kind of have to just go with.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't see. It's kind of, you know, it's just stupid. It's like saying I live on a farm, but I don't like the smell of manure.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't even like the smell of cigarettes at this hour, but last night, funny idea. Hey, Brian, before you leave in the morning, just wake me up around 8 o'clock in the morning and we'll do a podcast about your book.
Mm. So, yeah, it's
well, generally I wake up really irritable, but I woke up at 6 in the morning on my own and all my my hate. I already watched my morning news. I watched the 6 a.m. Tucson KVOA news, and it's just incredibly Anchorman. And it's just so ridiculous that I love it. And I tweeted my weatherman, Jeff Beamish.
This morning at 6:30?
No, I did. Last night, but no, I tweeted him once, like a week ago. He's like, I can't believe Doug Stanhope watches our newscast. So now I torture him.
Yeah, he's gonna learn that's a poison chalice of a follower.
Yeah, he didn't respond to my tweets last night. My several tweets at him.
The tweets where you were inviting him to compare which of his fellow anchors he would fuck.
Yeah, there's two. There's Melanie Hunter and Nicole. She has an unpronounceable last name. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but she looks like Cindy Lou Who from Whoville and The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
Is Jeff a genuine meteorologist like Bingo's sister?
Bingo's sister?
Or is he a guy who's learned the terminology?
He has the patter down.
All right.
He's very good at the patter. Is it going to be wet out there this weekend, Jeff? Oh, you better believe it. So
it's Groundhog Day, Bill Murray.
It's just fucking retarded, and I love it. It just makes me feel all homey. And then I get done with the.
It's the equivalent. It's the TV equivalent of Cheers. It's like it's a TV station where you know all the anchors' names.
Yeah, there's John Overall is the main guy with the chiseled out of stone head and that Jimmy Jones hair, like it's a hair chunk. It's like thick chunk of coiffed hair.
And this is let's remind people, which channel is this?
It's NBC Channel 4, Tucson, KVOA.
So you can probably get that. You can probably stream that in all the remote corners of the Doug Stanhope.
They have the investigating guy that just keeps plugging his at 10 p.m. tonight. I'm going to go with this man who says he'll never trust anyone again. It said it was going to be a new roof. Is this a roof goof? This guy got burned took a bad beat on it's supposed to have a new roof, but it wasn't new at all. And
then they always follow him to his door with a camera so he can, or the perpetrator.
I have no comment.
My lawyers told me not to speak to you.
I fell in love with this girl. After the news, I watched this. I think it's called Heroin City, USA, Cape Cod. It's got the words Heroin, Cape Cod, and USA in the title. It's a HBO, some documentary. It's not Netflix, because my Netflix does not work again.
Must be one of the few shows to ever get heroin and cod in the same title. Can't be many of those.
There's this girl, there's like 8 heroin addicts on Cape Cod. Evidently, it's just Cape Cod is flush with junkies. And there's one of the girls named Marissa, and it was just like gorgeous in a way that reminded me of like a girl I had a crush on, because I'm from Massachusetts, and she struck something in me that is like reminiscent of someone, I don't know who, but I was just in love with this girl, and she's the one smart one.
She's the one that could get out.
but still had the accent, and it's the dumbest fucking accent to listen to Massachusetts accents. I can't do it anymore. Like when I try to do a Massachusetts accent, I sound like Ray Donovan cast members who just stink at it. The Ray Donovan does it okay, but everyone else just tortures the fucking accent.
So this girl,
yeah, she's just reminded me of someone. I'm just all into this documentary. I'm fast forwarding through the stupid ones. And then just get back to her. And then, and then she dies. I'm like, cause you think I could Facebook her. She had like a gap in her teeth, but on her lower teeth, a gap in the front. I like, that's so fucking cute.
Heroin addict.
Yeah. And an exotic dancer as well.
Oh.
But just really, I go, I'm going to, as soon as this is done, I'm going to see if I can find her on Facebook and just tell her she's beautiful.
And then
she died at 23. It's a great documentary because a lot of them die. Like some of them die halfway in and you're like, this is like intervention, but they die. There's no happy story.
I suppose maybe we can go back and get Chaille to insert. Spoiler alert.
Well, she says at one point, she says, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of waiting to get high. I'm sick of getting high. I'm sick of waiting for dealers. I'm sick of fucking doing this and turning tricks. And she's crying. She goes, I'm only 23. I feel like I'm 30s in my 30s. And I'm like, I thought you were well into your 30s.
Oh. Oh, the hell!
Yeah, no. It felt creepy for wanting to Facebook you, say you're beautiful.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And then that's when it said, oh, she died at 23. Oh, good. No, I don't have to feel creepy. She's dead. But I was actually moved by it when I went, that fuck.
Was pretty unique.
Yeah, it's the morning when you feel a partial emotion. And you go, fuck this.
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast instead.
Yeah, I've been there, but I don't talk about it.
Yesterday, me and Brian Hennigan here,
yes, this is me, Brian Hennigan.
Yes, Brian Hennigan is on the podcast. And we went to Sierra Vista, the neighboring town yesterday to drop off my car to get fixed. It needed a new battery, and somehow now I'm $4,000 into repairs.
We're just putting this in for everyone who thinks that Doug's life is all fucking Johnny Depp and Reykjavik. You know, occasionally you have to take a shitty pickup truck to an awful place in Sierra Vista.
And I'm sure I'm getting fucked, but I get no one. Brian's leaving. I have no one. I can't even go pick the fucking thing up till Chaille gets back. But anyway, coming back in Brian's rental car, fucking deer, bam! Yeah. We in 45 minutes, we probably spoke 3 sentences together. And, of course, as soon as we go, oh, you know what we should, do tonight? Oh, what we should do?
Because that's how I speak when I'm in the car.
Yeah. Fucking turn to look at each other and fucking bam, deer runs out in front of the car.
We were actually talking about Neighbor Dave.
Yeah, I blame Neighbor Dave.
Yeah. If Neighbor Dave had not done something noteworthy, we would not have been talking at that point. Because we've been sitting in pretty much silence. And I suddenly said it was quite remarkable that Neighbor Dave had stayed to the end of football.
Actually, that was one of the tweets last night when I was hammered. Was at Melanie Hunter, the traffic girl, Jeff Beamish's cohort. She does the traffic, and I said, "Oh, by the way, I hit a deer on Highway 80, and I blame Melanie Hunter because she didn't put that random deer into her traffic report." Hashtag murderer.
If you're driving on Arizona 91 between Bisbee and Sierra Vista, look out for a random deer.
Yeah. Don't start chatting. That thing's going to jump right in front of your rental.
Yeah. 90 degrees.
How do we segue into your book?
Well, what about that? I mean, you were saying, though, you had, that reminded you of Cincinnati, the rental car thing.
Oh, yeah. No, that was the only time I've fucked up a rental. Was a ice storm. I was playing Go Bananas in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. I want to say it was New Year's Eve, but I don't think it was, but it might have been. No, it wasn't. I haven't played a New Year's Eve in 15 years. But anyway, it was the last night. It was a ice storm, and we hung out in the club for as long as possible. Bars closed. Now, at some point, there were no taxis because and we were all shit-faced. So the one girl that wasn't shit-faced, I let drive the van back to the hotel with all of us in it. Ooh. The club is in a strip mall with a traffic light to get out of the strip mall. Uh-huh. And she hit the brakes at the red light going out into the half a highway and just slid straight out into an oncoming BMW.
I fucked up a lot of rental cars, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the first one I remember doing was when I was young in my first job with a company called Pringle of Scotland. I rented this like family van, which at the time was incredibly exotic. And I was driving out the Caledonian or the Hilton Hotel in Edinburgh, and I hit a pillar. One of the pillars that it's like one of the pillars that is in the middle of the sort of parking lane when you're going in or out of the hotel. And I didn't hit it entirely hard. I just sort of grazed it, but enough for me to stop in that position of, what do I do now? It's going to get scraped more if I reverse, and it's certainly going to get scraped more if I go forward. And so and then I did the calculation of, well, I'm already going to get screwed, so I just put the accelerator down and then tired that horrible. Yeah. I would like to, if I wish to intellectualize this, I'd say it was like Macbeth, where I'm as bloody going over as it is coming back, that type of thing. But there was a guy.
1,000 listeners just tuned out. There
was a guy in the car with me, with the company, and he couldn't believe what I did. Because it's like one of those micro calculations in a second. We hit the pillar and then I just floored it.
Yeah, if I'm going to have 5 drinks, I might as well have 10.
Exactly. And then the other time, which is slightly more comical, is I parked in Home Base in Edinburgh, across from where I was living at the time, and which Home Base is like a Home Depot thing. And I hadn't been back in the UK for a while, and I'd forgotten that you have to put the handbrake on in cars because it's a manual. And they showed me later on the security camera that my car literally just at one point sailed across the entire parking lot, missing other cars that were coming and going, and impacted like a wall 100 yards away.
Wow.
I got screwed for that, which is why I will advocate passionately for the American Express card and their insurance coverage every time you rent a car. Because then they take care of everything for $17, and you can tell Hertz or Avis to go fuck themselves.
You didn't panic at all after the deer, and the deer did not, it got hit in the hind quarter, and there was a poof of fur.
Yeah.
And then it just dashed off into the desert mountains.
Yeah.
So it's probably dying a slow, painful fucking death.
I mean, listen, we did try to see if we could,
I think that was the point of that story, was that I felt a partial emotion. And I said to Brian, I was just we fucking killed a deer. This is going to suck all day long. And 10 minutes later,
I mentioned it.
And I went, I forgot about the deer already. Oh, yeah, that's right. We stopped at the thrift store.
Yes.
And you went, oh, yeah, they really did fuck up the front of the car. And I went, what? The deer. I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And also, it was funny how, in a non-ironic, jokey sense, I did actually say in the car after we did it, oh, dear. And
yeah, that broke the tension.
I know. It was very oh, shit.
All the adrenaline that you both look up and, oh, fuck, deer! Boom!
Yeah.
And then there was that quiet, terror. There's no deer in the road. What, do we stop that whole, again, rapid cycling? What do we do now?
Yeah.
Is everyone okay? And then Brian says, oh, dear. And I was like, oh, dear, he just said that. Oh dear.
Yeah, because at that point I defaulted to my comic caricature because it was appropriate. You have a recurring segment on this podcast in recent weeks called...
I like the fact that you mouthed to me, I was driving. Like the fucking rental car company is going to listen to this and bring it into court if I happen to have been driving a rental car.
Oh, no.
That's what happened to me where they fucked me because I let that girl drive my fucking minivan.
Right, so now you're actually saying, yes, that type of thing does happen.
Not because they heard it on a podcast, because it was in the police report.
All right, I see. Okay. Anyway, back to the new recurring segment on your podcast.
Does American Express cover you if you crash your car because you were doing the right thing by letting the sober person drive? Oh, wait. As long as you were behind, we don't care if you were shit-faced, as long as you were behind the wheel.
All I will say is this. I trust American Express more than anyone or anything I've ever had in my life.
I won't use it in town because they overcharge.
Oh, see, I don't mind that.
Well, in town.
Oh, yeah, in town.
These fucking hard Scrabble store keeps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every nickel counts.
I looked at my member since the other day and realized it's the longest relationship I have in my life.
Except for your mother, who doesn't remember you.
Yeah, exactly. Apart from my mother, who's confused about my name and who I'm married to, and things like that. But yeah, American Express. You know, I'd go to bat for you every single time, American Express. And you'll obviously. This is what I like. This is a sponsor who will clearly never have anything to do with us.
Yes.
But so therefore, when I advocate for American Express, it's passionate, it's genuine.
As I am with Delta.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's only because I'm a fucking high status guy. Every airline sucks shit. And if I weren't at the highest level of frequent flyer with Delta, I would hate them too, because they'd fuck me just like every other airline. They're just a little bit better than American is the worst.
Yes.
They used to be like anyway, let's stop.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay. Your recurring segment, which I've been trying to introduce of, there are no Super Bowl invites.
Oh yeah, that's become a problem. Still, my friends don't listen to this podcast. Like, sorry, we had to shave it down. Just the people that were in the season-long pool that are here every week, and the people performing on the show on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's a fucking El Nino. It's shitty 48-degree rain every day. If we have to do it inside, if it's rainy out, we have to be inside. There's only so many people that we can fit inside of this. We call it a compound, but that's mostly outdoors.
But you get fans and people are tweeting and they're asking, hey, your Super Bowl party. And Joe Rogan's quite a big booster of this. Yeah, no, we talked about that on a previous podcast. That's why everyone's tweeting, hey, Joe Rogan said I could come to your house. Now they're just busting my balls. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's all those tweets that you read. Oh, okay. Righto. Well, there you go. Don't turn up. That's kind of the... It stinks because there's a lot of people I know very well that are good friends of mine. I'm like, I have to make this across the board. Yeah. And again, it's that old rule of it's not the guys who are asking you have to worry about. Or sorry, it's not the guys who aren't asking you have to worry about. It's the guys who are. Well, they're not asking. Hey, I'm coming to Super Bowl. Good news. Well, yeah, you evidently don't listen to the podcast because it's a fucking strictly private event, which is fair to the people that are here, every week. Yeah, I always think of it as a local thing anyway. I like it. Football here is great when it's the locals. Yeah, Super Bowl. That's why I had to flee to the fucking. We had to flee to the Virgin Islands last year. Oh fuck yeah! They still had a fucking Super Bowl party here, without me even being here. I forgot about that. Yeah, we live a tortured existence, folks. It's 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm drinking chocolate truffle Ggreg fucking because that's all there was. I'm not even moisturized, and I'm wearing blue with green.
No, there's regular coffee. It's above the thing.
No.
It's at 8 o'clock. You just didn't look.
No, it's gone.
No shit?
Yeah, it's gone. All that's left is fucking chocolate truffle, chocolate raspberry, chocolate fucking
and decaf.
deer donkey. What?
And decaf.
Yeah, but I don't think. Oh, yeah.
Hennigan wrote a book.
I wrote a book.
A while ago.
But
actually, you've written a couple.
I've written 2 books. I've written 3, one of which I've kind of like your, The Great White Stanhope, have tried to ensure is never seen by anyone. Because I was literally up against mortgage payments or something, and somebody said to me, we'll give you, what the fuck?
Cranked out some pap.
Yeah. Like, I would like to flatter myself and say it was my Anthony Burgess A Clockwork Orange, since he turned that out in three days to pay for his wife's medical bills.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Anthony Burgess was a fucking monster when it came to productivity. And he went to his agent one day and he said, hey, this is just before the dawn of the NHS formally in the UK. And he said, I need fucking money. And the agent just said, when can you get me a book? And 3 days, he turned out A Clockwork Orange.
Wow.
Yeah. And
magic of cocaine.
Magic of booze. The great Anthony Burgess story is some guy went to stay with them, right? And he said that 11 o'clock in the morning, Anthony Burgess and his wife would get up at 11, okay, and start drinking, like sort of like polite morning drinks. Round about 3 in the afternoon, they'd go to the pub. They'd stay.
Polite morning drinks.
yeah, polite morning drinks.
Legs crossed.
Yeah.
Pinky up.
It's not really drinking, it's polite. Then 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they'd go to the pub. They'd stay there till 11 o'clock at night, which was closing time in the UK at the time. Then they'd come home and drink until they collapsed. And this guy said after 2 days of this, he was finished. He couldn't keep up. Every single morning, he was woken at 7 by the sound of Burgess's typewriter.
Jesus.
So yeah, he was fueled by alcohol but never skipped a day type thing.
Where's the
what ethos in this?
No. There's sleep that has to be involved.
Yeah, I know.
If you drink for 12 hours and then write for, I don't know.
But he wasn't doing fucking hot yoga and things like this. That he wasn't getting up to moisturize.
Yeah, all the people I know that were like, Alaskans especially, hard partiers. Ecstasy and then drinking all night after working. They'd still go to the gym and shit. Mm-hmm.
It still astonishes me that I used to have a fucking corporate job. In the sense that when I look at I used to work a fucking full day, often late, then go out and then still get up and drive to work at 6:30 in the morning. Obviously, perhaps in a questionable state.
I drink a glass of water and I feel good about myself. Like, I actually forced myself to drink a glass of water today, so I can't be too bad off.
That should be one of the unfit things. I drank a glass of water. I feel fantastic.
Yes. Get the Unfit app on your iPhone. It's not available on Android.
Because they don't want poor people.
I'm an Android guy.
So am I.
Can't get my own app that I'm sponsoring.
No,
the most annoying man in the world jokes are pouring in, and the first one I read was fucking really funny.
Yeah.
And almost exclusively not usable.
Yeah. See, now you're getting an insight into what happens when you say, hey, we're planning a tour of fucking Buttfuckville. Can you send send us in your recommendations? And there'll be 300 people writing into me because I'm one that deals with these things. And one of them may be of use. Yeah.
Yeah. Play the Terre Haute Coliseum.
Yeah.
First of all, no. If they have a huge rodeo there, I'm not going to fill seats.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't own it.
Yeah. You should play here. Ron White played here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not. Yeah. Anyway. So.
And if you can't do that, you should do Jimmy Fallon. What?
Yeah. So I wrote a book.
I remember, cause you wrote it a while ago.
A while ago, but it doesn't date. I know that.
Well, it's a novel.
It's a novel. Yeah. I don't write.
And I don't read fiction. So I've always felt bad when we first, became life partners. Because I'd try to read it and I could just either hear your voice reading it or just think about what you were thinking when you wrote it. You were too close to me.
Yes.
To, what's that?
There's no distance. It was too...
Suspension of disbelief.
Yes. Suspension of disbelief is an active disposition.
I'm in your head, your creative mind. What were you thinking when you were writing this sentence? But finally, I was staying at your apartment, my old apartment in LA, while you were out of town.
Uh-huh.
You had that booth, that restaurant booth, that Extreme Elvis. And I sat there and well, no, your book was there. I think I'd already read it, but it was there. So what I did is I took out the book and I left it on the table of your booth, your restaurant booth in your kitchen, with like 3 pages left to go open. Like I read that much of your book and was not interested in finishing the last 3 pages, and you didn't notice.
I didn't notice because, I do remember not noticing. I remember just picking it up and going, oh, Doug's read it. And by the way, folks, I mean, I'm not much of a fucking blowhard, frankly, but this book did very well. It got great.
It's a fucking great book. Once I just got past that first, 30 or 40 pages where I'm in your head knowing you, fucking loved it.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of... I mean, it's about a drunk salesman in Southeast Asia who's kidnapped, and it's how his drunkenness and his salesmanship helps him escape from his kidnappers. And
I don't know why it's not a movie, except you're too busy trying to keep me afloat.
Yeah, I know. It's a full-time task. I'm already fucking pushing one lifeboat. I can't...
So this is a re-release of the book?
Yes, and... It was optioned for movie for fucking 7 or 8 years. There's this guy who kept upping to every year he'd renew the option, but that was in the UK. And the story of right, you'll appreciate this, I think. So I was doing a corporate job, and every day I'd go home and I'd write my fucking book. And once I'd finished it, I was like, oh, what do I do now? Oh, I send it off to agents. I was like very, naive. And I sent it off to every major agent in the UK, which at the time was probably about 17. And every single one of them wrote back or didn't write back with a Dear John or a, we're not taking this book, here's why. And every single one I got, I just thought, you're an idiot. And genuinely, I never thought any of them had a point.
Was there a pattern to why not?
Dislikable central character. So then once I'd exhausted all the agents there were, like an idiot, I went, well, I'm just going to have to send this straight to the publishers, which everyone says don't do. I picked Jonathan Cape, who are like the fucking be-all and end-all of literary publishing in the UK, is the first one. People that they published Salman Rushdie and Philip Roth and Martin Amis, all these big fucking highfalutin people. I wrote off, I didn't even include the synopsis. I just said, Dear Mr. Franklin, he was the managing editor, I don't know if you accept unsolicited manuscripts, but here is mine. And that was it. 3 weeks later, phone call message, hello, Brian, it's Dan Franklin at Jonathan Cape. We'd like to publish your book. Now, if any of those fucking agents had thought for a minute that he would have been interested in publishing that book, they'd have fucking cycled to Edinburgh to get it. This is the guy who edits Salman Rushdie. So that's I use this with comedians and with anybody who talks about creative shit. Like somebody will say, will you read my screenplay? Or something like that. And I'll say, will you be angry if I tell you it's shit? And they'll go, no. And then I say, well, don't give it to me then. Give me it when you'd be angry if I told you it was shit.
I like that.
Yeah. Comedians who say, hey, will you look at my 5 minutes? Send them when you'd be angry if we tell you it's shit. Because if you don't believe in it that much, why the fuck should you be sending it around? It's
the worst mistake comics make in this internet age is doing that first open mic and putting it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how much you're going to fucking cringe when you see that in 5 years? If you're smart enough.
Yeah. So that's, again, and I'm only advocating what I did myself. You know, when I wrote the book, and it's called, by the way, Patrick Robertson, A Tale of Adventure. And once I was finished it, I knew it was good. I didn't need anybody else telling me that. And I had that arrogance of belief, which you get when you reflect on something that you've created and you know that it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of those.
Oh. In what sense?
Things I've done that I go, all right, that's fucking good. Like every CD, DVD, there's a couple I am more proud of than others. There's a couple I hate.
Uh-huh. I mean,
but if someone told me anything I did was shit, I'd go, oh, maybe it is.
I mean, of course, the issue is that you often, once you're well known, like you are, you get a lot of people telling you things that you know are bad are great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen all the emails, and I'm with you. I'm fucking, I work with you. I'm your manager and everything. But even I understand there's a difference in level between a lot of your content. Some of it is magnificent and world class. Others is stuff that works for that particular subject in that moment, so to speak. So when someone says that's the fucking best bit of stand up ever, you go,
I every time I film something, I'm hyper aware of dated. Like, this is not going to make sense in 10 years.
Dating is a big thing.
That's the Bill Hicks thing, where in 10 years after he was dead, all the names were still in play. Iraq was back again. There was a George Bush. There was Clintons involved. There was
that's interesting, because one of the things I was aware of when I was writing this book was I've read a lot of books that aren't dated. So I tried to remember all the ways those writers wrote that didn't date things. So little things like avoid technology, skirt around technology, because technology changes in an instant.
That's in movies. One of my pet peeves is they still use answering machines.
Yes.
Because it's easy to transmit information.
Ooh,
he hits the button on his answering machine, really?
It's a plot device.
And they still fucking smoke in bars. Like, where is this filmed? What year was this?
The only writer I know that does this, that takes the opposite tack, who deliberately integrates things of the moment for when he's writing, and very specifically, is your good friend, Bret Easton Ellis. Bret Easton Ellis's novels are replete with specific references. American Psycho. Replete with specific references that date from the moment he writes them.
Well, it's almost a period piece.
Yes, exactly. He writes period pieces in the moment. Yeah. Good old Bret.
Good old Bret. That was an awkward podcast.
It was an interesting one. It was one of the first where we were doing a big podcast with someone who's not of this world. But he was great. I liked him.
Of this world, meaning our social circle, our life, not of this. He's not of this world. He's a majestic, shining being.
He's attained nirvana. So,
how do you re-release a book? Because you did this.
Well, the point.
Jordan Gum did the cover of the re-release.
Yes.
The guy that does our posters and our T-shirts.
Well, the thing is that the world has changed so much that you can do this very easily now, and actually easier than, like, for example, in a small thing, like I got 2 tremendous reviews from The Guardian, which were genuine and not from friends. And The Guardian, when this book came out, wasn't that big in the US. Now it's much bigger. So saying, The Guardian says it's fantastic matters more now. So I'm very, it's like, good. So I got, the second little story was, at the time when I was still working, I just quit my fucking corporate marketing gig. And so I've never not had an arrogance about marketing. I think I know what I'm talking about. And I shared some ideas I had with the publishing company after the publication of the hardback. Because that's the difficult thing, getting a novel published and then getting good reviews. That's the difficult part. Everything else after that should be fucking downhill skiing. I shared my thoughts on how to promote the mass paperback, and somebody typed reply all as opposed to reply. And I saw an email that said, this one's going to be a fucking nightmare. And I complained vociferously through my agent and to the managing.
Oh, so you got an agent after?
Yeah, I got the agent after, but that was a mistake as well. I should have swallowed my fucking pride and gone back to one of the agents that rejected me. I didn't. I went with somebody whose specialization was film and television, and he's a good guy, but nothing really worked. He didn't. It's
like getting a tax attorney to help you on your murder case.
Exactly. I should have, said, what?
Isn't that what Robert Shapiro basically was?
Yes.
When OJ hired him, he was like the family fucking business attorney. And
so, and I tried to go back and say, what the fuck? This one's going to be a nightmare.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must throw this out of court. That doesn't even rhyme. I need someone better. No offense.
And so, they basically let it die because I think I'd upset them. So there you go. But I always had advocates in the US, but I never had the chance to release it. So I'm happy it's happening now. That's basically it. Patrick, the website is ataleofadventure.com.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's a good website.
It's Patrick Robertson ... A Tale of Adventure.
And it's on Amazon. So there you go.
It's very good.
Thank you.
The fucking cover, I like.
Do you like the cover?
I love the cover. I'm looking at it right now on the website.
Uh-huh.
And just with nothing but, I should have fucking put my foot down. This cover is my book. The cover is fucking dumb. But I kind of gave up and went, all right, I'm going to have to learn from my mistakes on this one.
The great advantage that our corporation has when it's dealing with people like you is that they're a lot of people. So that every morning somebody can wake up with fresh enthusiasm about how they're going to bat you down. Whereas you have to wake up every morning being willing to fight. And that's how it works, is that they just a corporation can just keep up the pressure without any real work, and eventually you go, oh fuck it.
It's exactly what I did. Well, by the time you're done writing a book, mm-hmm. I mean a book like that you have to like just scratch at every fucking memory that isn't there just to make this accurate. Just the process of writing the book. By the time you're done, I don't want to fucking go back here. I don't want to go back into that mindset of, just whatever. Okay, you want to do what? All right, make it quick. Take a picture and put it on the cover. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's be clear. It's a good cover. It's just not the cover you wanted.
It's me. I don't want.
You don't like seeing you.
Yeah, so anyway, it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? But you can judge a book by its cover.
Oh,
I've
I do.
Always sworn by that.
Yeah.
Alex, who wrote that book, and I just gave him so much shit about the cover, and now I'm having to suck it up. He said, "Yeah, I heard you had to do a cover where you're actually sitting there with a shovel for digging up mother." Yeah, fuck you, Alex.
Yeah. It's good to have. That's one of the things that the internet gives you now is fucking total control of shit. So.
Well, except for an advance.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But again, you can't. That's another thing. You can't take an advance and then act petulant. Oh, you can, but that's that's how people.
I don't want to get that reply all that says, fuck this guy. We're not even going to try any marketing for his book. But do you have a plane to catch?
Oh, yeah, I do. So, yes. So, Patrick Robertson, A Tale of Adventure on Amazon. Get it.
I have a whole box of shit. Chaille's been basically gone for a month. So, all the people who are sending gifts and cards and I just found this. I was trying to clean up this filth hole. And someone sent Bingo a juvenile diabetes t-shirt. I still love that idea of disease t-shirts that just promote diseases with happy fonts. Yeah, I have great designs.
Oh,
they're sitting in my computer. It's just, it's always, we get the tour. Like we don't want to become a t-shirt company.
No.
And people still, the libertarian jersey, people still ask for that. It's, the death of a salesman, abortion is green. We should always have that.
I know.
And then just to put out a line, but I would buy happy font disease t-shirts that just say bladder cancer with a big smiley face, like a 1970s happy font with.
And it's a remarkably.
But someone made up a juvenile diabetes one and sent it to Bingo. But yeah, I have a lot of, I have a box full of thank yous I'll get to. Chaille gets back tonight. We'll be podcasting. We'll get Chad Shank over here. We'll get I guess we get some sponsors coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back in business, like professionally with our smoke-stained microphones. Chaille's going to be so angry. We lost 2 of the microphone condoms. Everything's going to stink.
I don't smoke and never have, but I'm going to light one up for Chaille.
So yes, thank you everyone for sending shit and writing. I got some most annoying man in the world jokes. Some of them I'll have to rewrite, but I'll still give you credit. Some I got duplicates. I'm going to use the first one and someone's going to go, I wrote that. No, another guy wrote it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's you actually, Cody Hucker. So you sent one that I thought was funny, but someone sent it before you. I'm not going to say what it is. Anyway.
The Codester. Sorry, Codester.
Sorry, Cody Hucker.
Yeah. Your moment has passed.
Yes, he had his moment. He's the one. Hey, can anyone write a limerick that has Cody Hucker in it? And a lot of people didn't see that I was making a joke about how simple that would be. That was last year in the 30 Days in the Hole, I believe. Which maybe I'll do again, maybe I won't. We might be busy. We might have some shit going on. I don't know. But that's a podcast. If you just hit that pause button and then Chaille will play something as outro music. That one. Yeah, that.
Let's rock. I bought a Christian record from Christian record store. Would have bought 2 but wanted to keep money for the poor. Came back home and put it on my turntable. Played it backwards cause I wanted to know what's going on. Soon all I wanted to do was to go and get drunk. Go and get drunk and take lots of drugs. Take lots of drugs and have lots of sex. Then go out and kill everybody in my neighborhood. Kill. Burn and rock. Christians made me wanna burn and rock. Burn and rock, burn and rock. Kill everybody and quit my job. Burn and rock. Christians made me wanna burn and rock. Yeah. Glory hole. Yeah. So I broke into my neighbor's house and killed them with an axe. Stole all the money and drove off with the Humvee. Got myself loads of drugs and booze. Then found myself an orgy and had lots of nasty sex. It was kinky sex. Burn and burn and rock. Christians maybe wanna burn and rock. Burn and rock, burn and rock. Have lots of sex and take lots of drugs. Burn and rock, burn and rock. Christians maybe wanna burn and rock. Yeah. Hallelujah. So got myself a gun and rock the band. Got those smackdown bro, it don't gang. Run across the country spreading fire and disease. And I burn to the devil down on my knees. Dearest Satan, you nasty son of a gun. Dearest Satan, I know I'm having fun. Dearest Satan, I thank you for the sex. Dearest Satan, drugs and all the rest. So Satan, why don't you tell those Christians to make another Christian record? That I don't need to play backwards no more. No more. It sucks.